Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this. The podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah, Can Crushers. Yeah, Can Crushers. Let's go.
This is the hardcore icon, Just Incredible, and you're listening to Can Crushers Podcast. Now, that's not just the coolest, and that's not just the best Can Crushers Podcast. Well, that, my friends, is just incredible.
Hello! Hi, guys!
Hi, guys.
Hi. Welcome to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. You're like, oh no. And let me say, it all happened Wednesday. I'm Mark the Mark. That's Sir Michael Jenks. Holy shit, we have a lot of wrestling to talk about, a lot of stuff going on. So everybody knows. I'm going to just run with the lead real quick, Jenks. Are you all right?
Go for it.
Okay. This Wednesday, it hit. You know, I'm not bragging that I was at Dynamite. The high guys fucking hit me, and I love it now. I don't know why. Our little section, well, me and my buddy went, Nick, who was Ric Flair in my wedding. We were the only two that we knew. But it got like a sickness in our section then. Because I don't know if one person actually, like, you know I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
But it's growing now. Everybody was like, hi guys. So we did rows of hi guys, or down, hi guys. We were doing this, and I'm like, oh my God, I just fell in that wrestling chant realm that I don't like being in, but the fans around me sucked me in. So I'm like, Jenks is going to be so pissed that I like hi guys now.
But here's the thing. Here it is. It doesn't matter what we think. Because at the end of the day, wrestling fans, I think they just like him so much that they want to latch on to whatever the hell he is doing. So, stupid as it is, the learning tree, we said this, watch the learning tree just take over and be another fucking list. Piece of paper and a clipboard that does, it wins it all.
It's going to, I think. This Pee Wee Herman style that he's doing is getting us.
Yeah. I hate it.
I don't know. I hate it. I really do.
It's one that, like,
I got the whole time he was in the ring. Yeah. I do want to do one thing. Shout out to the Brew Bank in Ridgeway, Pennsylvania. Our craft beer is so good, we keep it in a vault. I'm drinking a coffee blonde right now, 5.2% alcohol. Imagine, and I hate to say this because I'll bring one up to you when I come, because they're all fucking big gulps, by the way, still. I don't know the size. What do you think this is, 24-ouncer?
It looks like a 32-ouncer.
All right, sure. 32-ouncer. Because God forbid they would put how many ounces?
Oh, is that a crowler?
Yeah, maybe. Sure.
Did they fill it while you were there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are crowlers.
Yeah. They filled it with, they filled it. They make them as is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not make them, but
well, no, I know. It's a 32-ounce can.
All right, 32 ounces. I'll bring you one up here.
Bailey agrees.
Bailey wants one too. Right.
Yeah.
I have to bring two up. I've had this numerous times. I like it. I'm like, I want something different. The fridge is almost cleared out. It really is. So that's a bonus. And I'm like, I can't do Miller Lite again this week. People are going to say, oh, I thought you were cool hip podcast. So I went to the brew bank and I'm like, coffee blonde and a couple other ones if I make them through. Because 32 ounces it's a big gulp.
It's a big gulp. It's 4 beers in one if you go by 8-ounce pours. But
it has, the blonde taste of whatever. There's just that little subtle hint of coffee just sprinkled in it. And it's just...
That's... I will say this to probably my death. Spoonwood in Pittsburgh has a Cold Drip City coffee stout. I think it's coffee stout or coffee ale, whatever it is. I haven't had it in a few years. It's always been so fucking good. Like, it's so coffee. It has a good amount of coffee flavoring in it. It's well balanced with the beer. It's a chef's kiss.
As you guys are listening to this, I am on the road to Pittsburgh. The English professor's daughter, essentially my niece, graduation party is today.
Nice. Very nice.
That's going to eat up afternoon to evening. Wonder if he'd want to go there for one. And because it's right around the corner of where we're going to have everything, so.
Oh, is he? Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh. That'll be... It might be worth it. I mean...
Twist his arm. Say, hey, leave your daughter and let's go sneak
over
here. Let's bail for 5
quick.
minutes.
Yeah.
And then his wife will just like, you too are grounded.
It's a blonde ale. It's a blonde golden ale, and it has a very nice, subtle coffee taste to it, so... Now, I don't know how it compares to that one, but...
We'll do a taste test one day. We'll have them both.
We'll have to sample them.
Yeah.
Line them up.
How was your week?
My week has been good. We'll start with this story. Tuesday, did not go to trivia, but shout out to the boys who won the trivia again 2 weeks in a row, back to back.
Holding on to that title.
Holding on to the title. But I didn't go Tuesday. We set up a doctor's appointment for Sir Charles. He had his shots, he had everything, but we noticed some weird spotting on his stomach, and we're like, what is that? Better safe than sorry. Because if you read the internet, it's everything from just it's hyperpigmentation to cancer. So you're all over the place. So we're like, okay, what is this actually going to be? So we go, get in the appointment, get in a room, right? Doctor comes in, goes, okay, let me see these spots that we're talking about. So she looks at him, she goes, oh, you don't have to worry about it. It's his veins. He has thin skin. Okay, so that's great, whatever. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. He has thin skin, he's getting older and everything. The doctor, because apparently she thinks we're idiots, proceeds to continue to explain what his nipples are and what different things are. And we're sitting there like, we know this. We know what these are. I'm like, really? This appointment took all of 5 minutes, and I felt like I was in second grade again, being explained what the human anatomy is, or what anatomy is.
When did you start health? I only started health in 5th grade. This is holy crap.
It was probably 5th grade, but
so you know
grade
health,
you know nothing. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, and me and her looked at each other like, well, we know what his nipples are. That's obvious what those were. I mean, we knew what they were. So that was fun. And that
Sir Charles is good though.
So Charles is healthy and apparently has nipples because everything has nipples. So we knew that, but we had to be reaffirmed on that. So besides that fun, it's been a good week. Last weekend what the hell did we do last weekend? Actually, I don't think we did much last weekend. It was a lot of, I know Saturday, I slept all fucking afternoon. And I think I woke up at 7 and was like, okay. And then I went right back to sleep at 9. Don't know why. It was one of those things where shit happens. Sunday, we sat around. I ended up playing Cowboys for a little bit on Red Dead Redemption 2. And
restart.
I didn't restart. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make it. I'll figure it out. Right? So I still have a bounty. I've made it worse, but it's okay. It's only $250 now. But I think it was up $250. I know I added $4 to it or something like that. But it is what it is. We're circling the city now. We're not in the township for it, but wasn't bad. And then during the week, nothing really going on. Just a lot of work and all that BS. A lot happening. Trying to figure out what I'm doing in the future here going forward. There's a lot of things, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of bullshit happening, but we'll get there when we get there, and that's next week's problem. So, how was your week?
I almost forgot, like you, what I kind of did over the weekend. I went hunting as well. You know, you hunting people, I was hunting Bengal tigers.
Did you get attacked by one?
No, I did not. It took me till Monday to see another one because of the whole, it takes a while for them to re-fucking spawn and everything. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I moved away from the Bengals for a little bit, and I went up to the north end of the thing, and then I've got a couple yaks now. Those are big, meaty fucking bastards.
Oh, I believe that.
Essentially water buffaloes. I don't know if they're calling them English bisons on this board, or but they're all like the same thing, essentially. Some of that. So I did some hunting, and I think my sleep day was Sunday. My sleep day is going to be probably Sunday again, just because. And of course, work was work. I stepped down from another position that I have at work because things are just getting thin, and I can't do what I need. I got off the bargaining committee because listen, contracts talks aren't my realm, but I was kind of thrown into the position years ago, and now it's too hot and heavy. I can't make every meeting. I can't personally put in what I want to get the rest of the employees to do stuff and to vote and to tell me what they want, because I'm thin on so many other projects that I have going on at work.
Yeah.
So I don't want to let them down. So that came as of yesterday during recording. I'm like, guys, I know I'm going to gloat for a minute, and I don't mean to. I always have your best interest. I'm not afraid to go talk. I said, one of you guys have to step up. This contract we're in the starting period, but it needs to be seriously signed and finalized by December-ish, months away. But I'm not, over the huge 2-year project that I have and more things going on, I just said, somebody's got to step up. Have it be one of the new guys and learn, fucking get your feet wet real quick, or one of the old people that just continue to say they want. And in the world today, listen, you're not going to get everything you want. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. You can throw a list up of shit you want. Before you go in and say what you want, you better cross off 5, because they really have the advantage all the time.
No,
so you have to. So I'm like, I can't. And then of course Wednesday, like I said, I went to Dynamite and got home via traffic and everything. By the time I was closing my eyes, it was 3:00 to wake up at 5. Stayed up until 9. Kind of went back to sleep quick last night, which was Thursday, Friday up, ran the whole day, and I'm, as recording, hopefully this beer is going to kick in, because I'm a tired boy, and I got a long day tomorrow, or today as you guys are listening.
Yeah.
So.
We got to make it entertaining.
It's been a busy but non-busy, you know what I mean? Like, you can be busy but you don't do anything. It was that week.
Yeah. Those weeks can be a blessing and a curse at the same time, too.
Exactly.
Yeah. But you're going to look back and say, all right, it was a good week. We'll take it away.
It was all in all, it was a good week. I was ill prepared. I shouldn't have probably stayed up till, 11 on Tuesday night and got a good night's sleep, knowing Wednesday was going to be long.
Yeah.
I should have maybe taken a nap Wednesday before we left, but the grass needed cut. Blah, blah, blah.
Gotta do the adulting stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Paying bills and stuff. So before we go any farther, essentially, as I was editing, we got the news that Alpha passed away, Roman Reigns' dad.
Yeah.
And this is a big hit to the wrestling world because the lineage of the Samoans and everything for the tag teams of the Wild Samoans and just moving forward. I met the Wild Samoans 2-3 years ago now at WrestleCade, and they are, you can tell they're definitely the old school, that you're in that line, and that line could be from here to Winston-Salem. They're spending 10 to 15 minutes with you. Why'd you like us? Why'd you do this? Even they were older, and I'm not saying senile, but they were older and just kind of on their, witsies.
Yeah.
They still wanted to know what, why, who, how, who are you? Why do you like us? Why'd you hate us? And they won't give you, and I don't mean this mean, they don't give their stuff back that you gave them to have signed until they're done having the conversation with you, which is what all wrestling fans want. You just don't want to go in here, sign this, and leave. You want an experience. Often Sika were that way. So that's my number one memory, besides matches and everything.
Yeah.
But I'll always hold on to that. And listen, you want to know a story of not told anybody? Here it comes. At one point, when I was really thinking, when I was like 21, 22, doing wrestling, like getting in the ring, maybe even before that, their training center was in Whitehall, Pennsylvania. I thought about it, and I thought, what my mother said, you're the most unathletic person I know, Mark. No, she did not say that, but, do you want to do this? I'm a mama's boy, and I said, I don't know, I don't, and that would have been where I went, to Whitehall. I would have made the trip however often I needed to. That was the one that I knew of the training center was in Whitehall. And it was Wild Samoans training you. Instead, I didn't go to any school, and I do what I do best. I talk, and I do a podcast, and I do radio and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You took the next logical step.
The correct step, some will say.
I mean, the Wild Samoans, my biggest thing was experiencing them more in the 90s when they were more managers than anything, for Alpha. It was with the head shrinkers. That was my experience with them. Now going back, you can go back and look up everything and see them and how deranged they tried to be and how they played it off perfectly. And it's such a stark contrast when you think about where Roman is and the rest of the bloodline is and how they portray themselves in a time where if you were from the islands, any island, you had this wild personality or your wild Samoan, and they played it up to a T. They knew exactly how to hit the high notes and how to hit the low notes with it. And they knew what they were doing. So Alpha played it perfectly from that perspective. I wish I would have seen them more as a tag team myself, but I understood their importance to, not just by the bloodline relation, obviously, but to tag team wrestling, to the WWF, and things that they have done. I always knew he had a wrestling school in Pennsylvania. I knew he had the one, I didn't know exactly where it was. So it's interesting to hear you say that, with it being Whitehall and all that, making the journey to the Allentown area, try to get in there, get trained up. I mean, the only time I thought about wrestling and all that stuff, but there was never anything close to me. So my trip would have, if I would have gone to Allentown, it would have been
still 6 hours away from
that's 6 hours. Yeah. 5-6 hours, whatever it is. I didn't grow up in the time of Dominic DiNucci running a school up here in Erie, Pennsylvania, with Mick Foley and that. But that's a sidetrack. For the Samoans, they meant a lot. And it's really with those older teams, you don't realize how much they mean to the industry or how much they mean to you until they start going away. And whether that be stop wrestling or unfortunately passing. We got the unique opportunity, though, to understand the importance through a whole other generation of them, which I think is just very telling and very important to know, is that no matter what, we learn the importance of that bloodline and how deep and how rooted it is in professional wrestling, WWF.
By far the deepest.
The absolute deepest. Absolute deepest. That being one of the patriarchs for that kind of lineage. And I know there's other levels to it and whatnot, but being one of those patriarchs really speaks volumes to what has been produced and what has come out of it. So it hit differently.
It did. So we'll raise our beverages to Afa. And thank you for all the great memories. Rest easy.
God bless.
I just got beer kicked back on my glasses. I don't know if you saw that.
I couldn't see it.
Real talk. I put down the 32 ouncer way too fast. That's a great segment to segue.
Yeah.
Hot topic for me this week, and I don't know why it's hot, but it's bothersome to me. Kayla Braxton just, hey, my contract's up, I'm gone. I don't want to talk about, I mean, there's another one too that clearly all over this, but like Kayla, I hope she's going to do something continuing in communications because I loved her behind the scenes. So maybe wrestling was her way to get into, because we've seen, oh shit, why can't I think of her name? Went to ESPN.
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie went to ESPN and, bouncing. Maybe Kayla's like, hey, I want to get on board with XFL or whatever league that you, not the XFL.
I know.
Any league out there, maybe wrestling was like, hey, this is where I can hone my skills and then be an MLB broadcaster like the Oakland A's girl because she's fantastic. So I was shocked about Kayla leaving. I really was.
Yeah, I was too. I guess now looking at it, she had been starting to kind of phase out of a lot of things and kind of over the past couple months. So clearly her decision was made a long time ago to just walk away. She's fulfilled what she mentioned it. She fulfilled what she wanted to in the industry. To your point, I hope she does stay with some sort of communications, doing interviews or anything like that, because she was a naturally gifted one, and she loved the industry. There's a difference between what she did from the announcing standpoint than what others who have left have done. She clearly wanted to be there. She clearly wanted to be ingrained in it. She did hosted many shows. She did everything she could. She scared Paul Heyman on a weekly basis, which was magical. So, and dressed as Sami Zayn at one point for Halloween. I mean, she was fully into being a part of it. And I think it just got to the point where you grow out of a role or grow out of a company and you're like, okay, it's time for the next thing. It's time to do the next thing. And so I hope for her sake, it's something fun and exciting, and we see her on the airwaves, whether it's at an ESPN, it's doing, I don't know, Macy Day parades or college football or doing something along those lines. Hell, even if it's acting or something like that, let's see her shine and see what she can do in that regard. So,
the other one that isn't going quietly, Dijak, is just...
Dijak will not shut up.
I actually like it, though. I
do, too. I do. Well, to that point, that doesn't, it just doesn't compute to me how he, with the talent he's had, is thrown away.
Literally. It's once he became Retribution Man, whatever his name was.
Yeah, T-Bar.
Yeah. He was done in the WWE realm.
By management, yes. But what I think was important was so many people responded to when he came back as Dijak. And he one of his rants, he said, I just had a couple months ago one of the best matches in NXT history. Can't argue with it. It's arguably one of the better ones in that triple threat and whatnot. So I don't understand it. I think I'll be that guy and say I think he ends up in a TNA potentially. I don't think it's AEW. I think it's TNA to be the monster around there.
I hope so, because we've all seen what AEW does with big men, and he's a big man. He's a big man that can move. That should be money written on it, but for some reason, every wrestling organization is very much allergic to having somebody like that be at the top. Let's be honest. So, but I wish he keeps it coming with this drama that he's stirring up and the shit he's dropping and talking about. But more the best of luck to him. And the thing is, he could pop up because I believe it was, as you guys are listening yesterday, Friday is when his date was done.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't now you have to wait 90 days. It's not a prediction for what's coming Sunday, but there could be, hey, I'm going to AEW Sunday and making a big to-do.
Yeah.
That could happen because I'm not saying it is, but it could happen because there's no 90-day window. You can just go where you want.
Yep. You walk out the door, walk in another one if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Well, here's the other thing I think, too, is if you're not quiet walking out, do you become a forbidden thing walking in somewhere else? Does people want to even touch you at that point? I think that it's one of the things that has always stuck to me. It's important how you proceed when you walk in to a job or whatever, but it's equally important how you're walking out. And if you're walking out guns ablazing, tearing the place down, you're burning bridges in some sort of fashion.
Yeah, you're burning bridges before you even start building a new bridge.
Exactly. And maybe he wants to do that, that's fine, but just remember, that new company or anything is going to be watching you like, I don't know if I want to deal with that.
Let's see what he does on the Indies for a good 5 minutes.
Let's let him be on the Indies for 5 minutes, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Does he simmer down? Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Those are my, essentially, three big ones. I know you had off on your sheet as well, but those are my three big things that went on in wrestling this week. And of course, we'll talk Dynamite when we get to Dynamite.
Yeah, of course. I think the biggest thing I mentioned to you earlier, I had a question.
You did.
I came across something somebody had posted on Twitter, and I thought, this would be an interesting discussion point that we could have here in the opening segment for it. So if you're good, we can move into that before we start our diatribe on NCAA football 2025.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. But
Yeah, you don't know. Nothing came out this week or anything. But so I think a lot of people have made the comment, we've made the comments about paying $50 a month for AEW pay-per-views versus, the $5 WWE's putting out there. What I saw earlier today that resonated with me a lot is the quality and quantity you're paying for both is very noticeable. WWE now is $5 a month. You're getting 5 to 6 quality matches outside of the big ones a night.
3 hours.
3 hours, you're done and over with. AEW is putting in 14 for $50. And it's high quality professional wrestling.
In 8 hours.
in 8 hours.
Not
so
really, but
is it no? But seriously, so I think from that perspective, it was an interesting thought process to see that. And the question is, does the cost make sense for what we're getting with AEW? Because sometimes it's banger after banger after banger, and then sometimes it's banger, banger, well, shit show, and then banger, banger, banger to end it. We've seen that a couple times this year alone.
Yeah.
So I want to throw that out to you. Is that price tag make sense for what we're getting in the quantity realm of AEW in that?
I will say yes, because let me revert back to when I had 8 people in the living room and they were only $30, back then, price increase, all that. There's a lot of $30 that were wasted on in your houses, and this is because there's a lot of in your houses that there wasn't a bang, yet alone a banger, but it was the $30 to have the guys come over and have a party. So the $30 was always just fun. I would say moving to 2024, add that extra $20, whatever it is. You're buying a ticket. As an old man, essentially I was, or my mom was, buying a ticket for me to watch this. So this is my ticket to watch this special event. WWE gives you a discount of $5, essentially, because they have trillions of people watching it. You can look at the buy rates on AEW's. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. I don't know how this week's is going to be, but I think it went that way for me. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I think it went that way for me that as growing up, I thought it was just a normal thing. Yeah. We really didn't look at how much it was. It was the monthly party at Mark's house, and now it's the monthly Mark party because we've grown up and spread apart. Do I hate it? It's monthly for $50? Yeah, sure. But now I can make that decision that I don't have to buy it.
Right.
But to your point, AEW, listen, we shit on their shows. Their weekly shows, we've been for a while a little bit. Their pay-per-views are where it's fucking at. Yeah. I think you're going to see something at Forbidden Door. I think you're going to, you get that extra added attraction of, holy hell, somebody's coming over. Somebody's going to break the Forbidden Door. You're paying for that suspense. Listen, for those like me and you that like going to plays, you know what you're going to get when you go to a play. You know you have to pay for a ticket or something like that. It's a ticket. You have a front row ticket to your television. You have the express pass to your fridge. You have the express pass to your bathroom. I think they're perfectly priced. I really do. I mean, I'm not ever going to bitch about pricing. If they would charge me $100 for one, then I would be selective of what I buy.
Yeah.
Did it answer somewhat?
No, that answered it. I think it answered it well, because that's an aspect I didn't even think of. It is legitimately a ticket, a best front row seat, if you will, ticket to a show. And some would argue better than what front row is providing you, because you're getting it can be because you're getting additional context, additional storytelling, additional things you don't get when you're at a live show. Live show, you're paying for the experience in the arena. When you're at home, you're paying for the content that you're seeing, because you're in the comfort of your home at that point. So your focus is not on, am I comfortable in dealing and cheering? My focus is on what's being put in front of me in terms of the wrestling production and all of that. I think it does speak, though, to a trend that is starting to happen where, well, it's been happening for 20 plus years, but we'll just put it here for AEW because they're starting to do it now every month, where it's more assembly line match types to get it out the door every single month. We're not developing a full-on story because we have to put it through the ringer in 4 weeks' time to get it on the show. I think a lot of companies, I think WWE's taking that step back and realizing, hey, we can take time to develop a story over the course of months before it even comes to a show and put in different things to come up for the show. They're still working out some...
Punk and Drew.
All up Punk and Drew. Because with that one, they learned they had to do it with the injury, but now they're also learning the slow play out is fantastic for storytelling. And when it happens, it's going to be the biggest blow-off match in their history. At
SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam.
Punk's not going to be healthy in 2 weeks.
No. Punk's going to cost him the match in 2 weeks. And then it's a whole shit show in London. Or Toronto, sorry. London was last year. But to that point, it's one of those things where it's more assembly line finish. And I think fans, if there's a complaint about the pricing, it's because they're not getting their full story being told about it. And to them, to us, it could feel like, well, I'm not getting a full story told here before they have the match to kind of have this rivalry, so it's lacking what I needed to have for the money content. I'm in the same boat as you. I'm buying a ticket. I'm stealing your analogy now, but I'm buying a ticket to see content that I wanted to see. It's just a different avenue of consuming it. In this one, I don't have to leave my couch, and I can be in my underwear to consume it if I wanted to be.
Right. I actually thought about this, and now I'll tell you that we answered it. I thought about that exact question Wednesday.
Did you?
Because and we'll break down Dynamite, so I'm not going to ruin anything. But as people were coming out and this, that, and the other thing, I'm like, this is a great show to be at because we can see them.
Yeah.
But holy shit, I can't wait until tomorrow when I'll watch it again to hear what Taz, Excalibur, and Tony are saying essentially about all we predicted it last week. Everybody from New Japan, CMLL, like they were all in Buffalo because they were going across state for New York this week. So it made perfect sense for everybody to be showcased there.
Yeah.
Was it announced earlier in the week that everybody was going to be there? No. When Zack Sabre was there and we got, everybody, the surprises on Collision that you guys don't even know about. Well, you do now, essentially. But, no, you don't. If you're looking at the morning, you don't know yet.
If it's before 8 o'clock at night, you have no idea what we're talking about, yeah.
But, holy shit. And I'm like, all right, this is definitely the experience. But what were they saying? Why did he come to Buffalo to get to New York and not just send a video package? And so I kind of looked at Galbo and I'm like, hey, I kind of wish we had commentary. He's like, yeah, this is a great show, but I bet you it's greater because of commentary.
Yeah.
So,
is that when you become the people that go to baseball games but have the announcers in their ear?
So I should have glue on in my pocket with my
headphone in, just listening to the commentary while the people are coming out.
Maybe.
It's not a bad idea. I mean,
not a bad idea. You know what? The next live event I go to, I'm going to do that. If it's a Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite / Collision, you don't get that.
Yeah.
Because they're recording it.
Right.
They're not going to put it. But yeah, any Raw, SmackDown, or something like that, or Dynamite that I go to, remind me because I'll forget as soon as we're done recording this. But I think I want to try that one time.
I could be wrong. Didn't WWE try this at one point? It was 2010 time frame or something like that. I thought I remembered that. I thought it was posted somewhere that they were selling headphone sets and it was connected to the commentary so you could hear what the commentators.
I know they did that at NASCAR when I went to a couple.
I thought they tried that at WWE at one point. I could be making it up, but I thought they tried that at WWE. I feel like that's an experience worth paying for if they would do that for the shows.
It is. Again, though, So me, you, Cody, the English professor, are all sitting there. Now we have headsets on.
It takes away from the...
It takes away from me and you bantering about, oh my God, you see that guy in the front row doing this, that, or the other. Because now you're too focused on what's Tony and Excalibur saying. And you have the people behind you screaming, so I don't know how loud those things are.
And let's be honest, I can't be the asshole I was in the area, jumping up and down for people, making sure that they didn't have the light on us.
Right.
So, I mean,
I love that question though. But we were right there because I'm like, man, I really wish I knew what they were saying this week on Dynamite. So, we'll keep it short and sweet because you only have 20 more days essentially to listen to us talk about this.
And then we talk about when it's out. So I mean, it's
about how our seasons are going.
Yeah.
So NCAA dropped 3 big things this week. Some rankings on your offenses and defense, which I fucking got pissed because they did the top 25 teams. Like I wanted to know what App State was ranked.
Yeah.
Their overall. The big schools are going to be ranked high.
That's the way they are. I mean, I will say, though, the way they were ranking teams in the offense and defense and that, seems like the ranking is going to be pretty much in the shitter from it. I mean, top 25 realm, I'm looking at the list now. The top 25 offenses, USC's number 25, they're at 83.
Right.
So, I'm assuming Kennesaw State's at 54 at this point. Yeah.
They have to be.
They have to be bottom barrel.
If they're not the worst, I mean, listen, this is the first time they've ever been in, not the NCAA, but in the FBS.
Division 1, yeah. FBS
yeah.
Division 1, yeah.
They have to be the lowest ranked team, right? Even if they can't even put Akron above them. I mean, below them, I mean.
Yeah. Akron, it's probably Kennesaw State Akron at this point.
And then Kent State.
Kent State represent. But, man, yeah,
And then, because there are 3 things I really am excited about. The hardest places to play came out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I agree with a lot of the list. I don't agree with like, Texas A&M's number 1.
It's the atmosphere. It's not toughest. It's because of the 12th man and the history behind it. It's not the winning.
No.
Because if it was the winning, Bama, LSU, Ohio State, Georgia are top 4.
Michigan, and get ready for the hate, like Penn State. I know what Penn State's what 6. I know. Yeah,
but so they should be top 5. A&M to me should not be top 5.
No.
I'll give them top 10.
Yes.
If you want to go with the historical fact piece of that, because there's some of these are like, I mean, like fucking Florida State. Okay, maybe. Yeah, Wisconsin, they're rowdy, but I don't know. I just don't buy Texas A&M.
No. The good things that I like. Well, let me say this. Mascots play a big part of this fucking game. Did you see all the stuff? They play a big part of this game.
They do. They do, but they're not playable.
They're not playable, and I'm a little bummed about that. But they're very well showcased in everything that we've seen. Man, oh man. So I've come up with 2 things. Until the 19th, I know I said I'm going to do Buffalo for Mom. I have to retract that again because I don't know. I don't know. And Buffalo is, of everything that I've watched this week, Buffalo is one of the teams now making their way up to be a favorite for a rebuild. It may be a harder one than I want to start with right off the bat. Because they're not good.
Right.
Do I want to enjoy my first go-around, play on rookie, and just fucking rip it up for a while? And maybe that's my pit one. Because I want to see the Panther doing push-ups. I want to see the Panther doing dunks. I want to see the chain or the freaking celebrations.
Yeah.
Every school has a celebration when they do a turnover. UNC holding the fucking title up I didn't think we were going to get stuff like that.
Yeah. Bailey didn't either.
Oh, good. Student sections have their own chants. There's special games, and then, the big games, the Penn State Whiteout, the Stripe game, but every team's going to have their special game. So now I'm stuck. Do I want to, because this is the game I wanted to play first. I wanted to do one play now game right off the bat before I started everything. And it was going to be on Pitt, but I went to Iowa. So at the end of the third quarter, I could wave to the kids.
Makes sense.
But do I want to play the West Virginia Pitt game, the very first game, at home to see? Because they haven't leaked all the songs that are in there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Sweet Caroline is kind of tough probably to get. But they have not really had to get them. Because they brought in a fucking band. EA Sports brought in a band. Bob Smith and the Juniatas, whatever the hell they're called. I don't know who they are. Really, that's made up. Don't look it up. But they brought in a band to play likeness songs. So there might be a little bit of tweak here, tweak there, but you'll understand what the fucking song is.
Yeah.
Is Sweet Caroline in the game?
I think it has to be.
Right? If they're putting... They blatantly said... was it one of the Clemson's big song? Was in it, I think. This is shit I should write down.
Well, yeah, but I did see that Enter Sandman was not...
Right.
They didn't get the licensing for it. But, to your point, it's going to be kind of in it because they have the in-house band to kind of cover it a little bit, tweak it, make it their own.
The shots that I saw of Florida touching the Gator, of the high five from Notre Dame, of everything, of all the entrances. By the way, Penn State looks amazing. They didn't show anything of Pitt, nor should they show Pitt right now. They were horrible.
They've showed the celebration. That was it. Yeah,
the dunk. Yeah. Each of these entrances, did you see, last about a minute and a half? So you're getting the whole, like when I go opening day every year, I'll throw myself under the bus. I get the feels. I get pride. I get the feels. I get everything. I'm like, I'm back to where I need to be for 7-8 weeks. 13, but 7-8 weeks. And I get emotional because I really love entrances. I love entrances as long as a shitty band isn't trying to cover a Rhea Ripley song. I love those. So I can't fucking wait.
I can't either. And did you hear the part about the dynamic crowds?
Yeah.
So
this is amazing.
Let's say we start out as bum-ass Kennesaw State. No disrespect, just you're bottom of the barrel right now. We start first game, there's barely anybody in the stands for you.
Right.
You're just playing by yourself against the other team. It's as you get better, more fans come to the game like real life. They're going to start becoming intrigued. They want more. They want to see more. You win a conference championship, they're going to probably sell that place out. And you're building yourself up. So you're literally taking your brand and building it up from the ashes to something big.
That is epic. I think that's one of the greatest, because you see it in MLB or whatever.
Yeah.
You get, the crowd's always there. And in Madden, you have to. EA Sports and Madden, the NFL said that crowd has to be 100% all the time. MLB, you don't. Like a Wednesday 1 o'clock game, you look at the attendance that they throw out at like the 7th inning, it goes from like 90,000 down to like 15. But if it's a blowout, 10-3, you can see people leaving. I'm so glad they did this for college football, because week 1, again, I know Pitt plays Kent State week 1.
Yeah.
Okay? How many people do you really think are going to be at Acrisure Stadium?
Not that many.
Mark.
Maybe.
In somebody else.
Maybe 5,000.
Right. It's not going to be a sellout. They win that. They go on the road. They beat Cincy. The next week. Well, the next week is West Virginia. It's going to be jammed. But the following week is Youngstown State. If they're 3-0, even against Youngstown State, there's a buzz then.
Yeah.
You'll get another 5,000 people. You continue that for when you get, if you're good for that Clemson game, which is essentially the big game for Pitt at the end of the year, could mean something in the ACC. There could be 90,000 people. No, it's not 90, but there could be 90,000 people there.
Yeah.
I love that they put this in the game. In college, wasn't like, no, you have to have everybody there all the time. This
college
is brilliant.
Understands it. Yeah, because college understands that the smaller schools are not going to get this. They're not going to pack the stadiums. It's the larger name brand schools that you're going to name. If somebody tells you to name 5 colleges right off the bat, you're going to name 5 major schools.
Oh, your Penn State, your Oregon, your Alabama.
Your Ohio State.
They're sellouts all the time.
They're sellouts all the time. There's those perennial ones that are just constantly selling out. But when you're a Kennesaw State or
Pitt,
Arkansas State,
a big school, but it's just not. It doesn't sell out all the time.
It's a big school in a big town, but it doesn't sell out. To your point, because it's some years you're good, really good. Some years you're really bad. It's just the way it goes. It's the talent pipeline that you can get coming through. And that's the big thing. That's what makes them so intriguing as an option. So it's going to be interesting to start playing this way when it comes out. The deep dive is on July 2nd, apparently, because I saw that it's 6 minutes long. There's a deep dive into Dynasty. So we're going to get a whole breakdown of basically how
for that for next week, by the way.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that longer than it actually is in existence, longer than the videotape of it. But I'm excited. I'm ready for it.
I know. This is going to be the longest 20 days. You know that, right? We've waited. We've talked about this. We bitched 2.5 years ago that they put it on the shelf for another year.
Yeah.
And then another year. We're here. Like, 20 days is going to go by fast, but it's going to drag for us.
Oh, it's going to 100% drag. It's going to be like, can we just get here by now? I'm ready for it.
You ready to pay some bills?
We should pay them at some point.
Collar and Elbow, hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool things that Al Snow and the Hooligans have at Collar and Elbow Wrestling brand. Go and check them out. Probably the first time in a long time I don't have a Collar and Elbow shirt on. Underneath my hoodie, by the way, because the air conditioner actually worked today in here. It wasn't super hot, so it was kind of good. I have Bray Wyatt on because when we get the Raw, major stuff. Yeah. So I wore Bray Wyatt all day, but you won't get a Bray Wyatt shirt at Collar and Elbow. But you'll get a lot of cool ones. Shad Gaspar, Animal, Dusty Rhodes, Al Snow, and Head as Macho Man inspired. The shirts themselves are amazing. I've had them for years. They don't rip. They don't well, they do. But if worn correctly, I don't want to send anything out there. Yeah, these are not indestructible shirts. They're comfortable, and they don't wear much unless you wear them all the time. They're amazing. Go and check them out. We have a promo code. Jenks was it.
Can Crusher save yourself 10% at Collar and Elbow on those shirts that can be destructible. If they can be,
try.
So don't worry about it. Yeah. But yeah, go to Collar Elbow. We also have an affiliate code with WWE Shop, so look in your show notes for that. You may get a discount, you may not, but it's really to help us out at the show. So go ahead, spend to your heart's content on anything that your heart desires, but just use the shop code in the notes.
Yeah, if you know you're buying a new RKO shirt or something, listen, WWE, I'll tell you the prices right now are $29.99 for a shirt.
Yep.
So they're spending that. Click on an affiliate code because it helps out. Even if it's not ours, click on anybody's affiliate code because it really does help the podcast or person out. Okay?
Exactly. 100%.
Don't forget, we have shirts, hoodies, tanks, all that cool stuff over at CrowdMade. Wear and rep Can Crusher stuff wherever you go. Go to CrowdMade, type in Can Crushers, our page will come up and you can buy your shit there.
Do it. Go ahead.
Okay, Dubby. Yeah, it's there, Dubby. I'm out of Dubby. It is coming tomorrow. Maybe that's why I feel like a bag of shit the last 2 days, because I don't know, I think I did not have the correct order on in time. I had to reorder. But that's on me. It's not on Dubby. They instantly shipped it out. They're really cool. Dubby is where you get great energy drinks. My 2 favorites are Beach and Peach and Callow Cream. I took 2 scoops, throw it in water, shake the shit out of it in the morning. And from like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm good until 10, 11, because there's no crash, there's no calories, there's no carbonation. It's really cool. Jenks, I've been carbonation-less. That's not the proper way of saying it. Uncarbonated. Well, no, because my beer has carbon. I haven't drank pop and anything like that in a long time. And it's done worlds for me. People have said, oh my God, you lost some weight, this, that. Now, I've cut that shit out, and W has really helped me. So I don't have to go to any of the canned stuff with carbonation. Tons of different flavors besides Callow Cream and Beach and Peach. Find what you like. There is a sample pack out there. For $20, you'll get the 10% off of it once we give you the promo code. Try it to see what you like. You'll get a couple different flavors and your shaker. It's well worth it. By the way, the promo code's Can Crushers.
Make sure you save yourself that. All right. Now, through all of that, you can listen to us on a variety of platforms. You can listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, whatever it is to your heart's content. Mark listed 95 of them off a couple weeks ago. So pick us up, put us in your ear holes, listen to us, deliver it. We're also on YouTube. You can't see our lovely faces, but you can hear our fine voices. So pick us up on YouTube as well, and enjoy the sultry voices filling your ear holes. So
join conversations on Facebook, Instagram, X, and just enjoy. Listen, there's still threads out there. I've been just too lazy to delete it. But join the conversations there. Send your questions in, DM or anything like that. We'll continue to take questions, even though last week was Ask Can Crushers. Throw a couple questions here or there. We'll answer them as we go, and it's fun to do. But, yeah. Or you can send them in at cancrushers69.com.
Give us a nice coherent email. You can give us a call as well as the 814-299-6687. We have that number out there for you guys, so please utilize it. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to have you on the podcast, so it's not only us speaking all the time, but, just give us a call and leave us a voicemail, a message with your question or whatever you have for us.
All right, you want to talk wrestling now?
Let's talk wrestling.
All right, we're going to take a break.
What's up? It's Chelsea Lyons, also known as Chelsea the Mother.
Welcome back, guys.
I love Can Crushers because we're out here crushing cans and making fans.
Wrestling Podcast. Sir Michael Jenks Mark the Mark. We're going to go with WWE first this week, Jenks. You know why?
Why?
Because we have predictions of AEW, so it kind of leads into, good storytelling on a podcast.
Yeah, that makes sense. We do tell good stories on this podcast, I would think.
Add a couple
make up for it. We make up for it.
Lawns from the Brew Bank in Ridgeway, Pennsylvania. I'll tell some great stories.
That's the point.
That is a great point. So, starting with SmackDown, heading to Raw, and then we'll go over to AEW. But, Jenks, the greatest thing going right now, in my eyes, in WWE is Punk and Drew. He quit as Raw ended last week. SmackDown, Punk's in the ring talking about this, talking about that. And we get everybody in the mix. Heyman comes out to Solo in the bloodline and everything. And it was a good first segment. You got the feels of I'm a Paul Heyman guy when Punk was the Paul Heyman guy, and you got all that. Fast forward to fucking later, and Punk's eating the garage door and being tossed around. And we knew Drew didn't quit.
Yeah.
But we also didn't think he was going to show up on SmackDown 4 days later.
And we probably should have, because it was in Chicago, and it was deeply personal at that point. But to your point, I would have never thought so. Bailey never thought so. I'm scrolling up. But we saw the color on Saturday with Cody and all of that. To see it again that following Friday with Punk made it very impactful very quickly. It took it from Punk just fucking around with Drew, screwing with his head, doing things like that, to Drew making sure Punk understood, you are my bitch at this point, and I'm going to dominate you. Yeah. Really showcased the powerhouse aspect to Punk's more being a menace aspect of it. I thought the parallel was pretty damn defined and very good Friday night.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I also like that Punk pseudo acknowledged that he doesn't like the new bloodline.
Yeah.
Does this play into anything down the line, maybe? Survivor Series is the way of the way. And I think the real bloodline is going to need somebody.
It could. It could very well. And establishing that relationship with Paul Heyman again was a key sense of that foreshadowing. If Paul Heyman is operating in the side of good. Because if he's not, then it's just Paul Heyman fucking people over left and right again.
And we already have our... If there's a little bit of bias, we already know. The other way.
We're leaning the other way. I mean, never trust Paul Heyman.
Right.
Paul Heyman does one thing, but is trying to do the completely opposite 95% of the time in professional wrestling. So it's where it behooves him. But I think they set up the seeds nicely for us to think, okay, this may be the thing that happens at War Games.
Yeah. Simple minds go right there, and I have a simple mind.
But I think it also sets up for last night, as you guys are listening, in Madison Square Garden, this ties back to Madison Square Garden. There's a bloodline acknowledgement ceremony thing coming on. I get Alpha just passed and all of that, but you don't think Roman Reigns isn't going to walk out there and just kind of give the crowd
Do you think?
Shock pop?
Listen, you guys know before us.
You guys know before us, but I think you have to. I think he plays this little shock card of, I have to acknowledge you if you're the tribal chief. It adds layers to this now.
It does.
But it also forces Solo back into a role that I think makes the others uncomfortable in this situation.
We're going to fast forward. This isn't my number 2 thing that I want to talk about. We'll get to that. But let's go to, which would be my number 3 thing. It's main event. Bloodline attacks Cody. Randy comes out. KL comes out. Even numbers. Until we get Jacob fucking fought 2 is now part of the bloodline. Did you see the Tongas not really liking it already?
The Tongas didn't like it, and he also didn't reciprocate the hug to Solo. Meaning, there's not a whole lot of trust going on there for this. And I don't know if the Tongas are thinking, we're supposed to be the badasses, not you. Or maybe this wasn't acknowledged to them that he was coming into the fold. I like to play the devil's advocate here and say, maybe this is by design by other bloodline members that are in existence right now. Which would be a fucking turn in its own right.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if I think back to a lot of the bloodline that has happened, and this is just small details, so it could be nothing, could be something big we're blowing this up into. Everybody reciprocates the hug. Roman hugs you, you hug him back. Solo hugged the Tongas in that, and they reciprocated back. Jacob Fatu not showing that same, it's either putting him on the pedestal of he's a wild man, he doesn't care, or it's putting him on the pedestal of I'm not here for you.
Yeah.
And that makes the speculation, yeah.
That's what I got, because you know how we just stirred the pot saying the fourth member of the old bloodline is going to be maybe CM Punk? No. Jake Fatu. The new bloodline is going to need somebody.
Yep. Which is,
spoiler.
I think it's, well, maybe they get Mr. Hollywood for that. Or
Hogan.
Yeah, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. It's going to be a whole NWO angle at this point. I think it could be Rock. The whole new bloodline versus old bloodline, final boss versus tribal chief, whatever it is. But wouldn't that be a hell of a turn? When you think you had Silva, who was your enforcer, you introduce a wild man to counteract that enforcer.
It all starts at Summer. The feud is happening. All right. First match will happen, Survivor Series, War Games, whatever. Mm-hmm. Payoff is Roman Rock at WrestleMania.
Yeah, 100%.
That's 8 months away, and it's going to go by fast.
It's going to go by real fast, except for the next 20 days, but that's a different story. But what I would also say to that is Hikuleu is out there without a contractor. It's coming up soon too. Is that the fourth member they send over to the new bloodline?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different aspects to that as well. A lot of bloodline members' contracts are coming up due.
They are. So my number 2 thing that we're getting a train, and now all of a sudden coming through town. We don't get trained often anymore. Now it's coming. Your Money in the Bank winner won her match on SmackDown last week.
I honestly thought this would be number 1.
Well, listen, I told you that everything going right now between Drew and Punk is just, it's
too good.
Meat, potatoes, and strawberry cheesecake. I can't not get enough of that.
Yeah.
This is, maybe Chelsea's 1B.
1B.
I'm telling you, she's winning this.
Oh, I don't disagree with you. I completely agree.
That prediction now, and in 2 weeks when we do predictions, that's my prediction. You don't even have to ask me, Can't Crusher Nation, Jenks, anybody. I am predicting she's winning this.
It's Chelsea. There's nobody else. I could not see any other woman winning this.
No.
And it's going to be by some fluke.
Oh, it's going to fall into her hands like Otis or whatever. It's going to be a joke win. But she's going to capitalize on it compared to where Otis didn't.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And we're going to get a lot of better flirting with the title and getting it. There's going to be a lot more shenanigans around it. We won't get Damian Priest level aggravated by it, but we're going to get entertained by the flukiness of it. Because she's going to try to get fluke win after fluke win, and she's going to get stopped somewhere, somehow, every single time. Or it's only going to last 30-second reign, and then she cashes in the same night.
As long as Chelsea Green at some point is your women's champion, I'm going to lose my shit that day.
But what happens if it's only
Chelsea Green, when she wins the championship, Jenks, don't even piss on my parade. She wins the championship, because I know what you're going to say. She wins the championship, it's going to be a picture of her and then our logo down at the bottom. That will be the picture for the podcast that week.
All I'm going to say is it'll probably be for 5 minutes or 5 seconds, and then she'll lose like a match. She'll have to defend it immediately or something like that and lose it immediately.
She'll get a day, and she'll have to do some type of rematch on whatever.
It'll be a Kane reign. Kane wins it, 24 hours later he loses it right back. Yeah.
Those are my 3 things on SmackDown.
From my perspective on SmackDown, I think pretty much it's kind of along the same lines. Carmelo advanced, Andrade advanced, so now we have an Andrade who, first of all, KO, Randy Orton taken out obviously because they're facing the bloodline. That was happening. Carmelo now Andrade. They finally found Andrade something to do here. Doesn't mean he's going to win it. The men's field right now, as I all over the microphone, is no longer. Anyways, I don't know who the fuck is going to win.
I don't know who's going to win this.
I could not. They picked the fucking middle cards.
I don't think they do either.
I'm leaning one way just because it would be a fucking shock to a point, but I don't think they know who's going to take it. Unless they have utmost faith in Carmelo to be in the spotlight in a year.
That's a lot. And we love him. We do.
We do.
But I don't know yet.
That's
Carmelo
exactly.
in NXT didn't come to the main roster.
So that brings up another interesting point. Not a lot of guys from the NXT who come up are the same people.
Right.
Ciampa, Gargano, Dijak, Ricochet, Andrade.
When
they come to the main roster. You can say it's Vince. You cannot say it's Vince. Even since Triple H come back, these guys are not these big time players. Is it because they're capped with the amount of guys at the top of the realm? Maybe. But I think they should be producing something high level to make us want to watch every week, and they're just not shining. They're falling off completely, sometimes off the radar.
Yeah.
So I think it needs to be studied how these guys are so top in NXT versus where they kind of sit now. That's why I'm thinking Money in the Bank is going to be utilized as that fucking rocket strap up the ass. If you're not Braun Breaker and you're not special, this has to be that catapult to get you where you need to go.
Every Money in the Bank, though, and I'll say this, can't be one or two of these. It can't be a year-long hold like Damian Priest. Those get boring.
Yeah. Right.
But they can't be, and this isn't a knock, they can't be like the women's where you turn it in the same night. There's got to be a little bit of story. Say Carmelo does win this one. Not my prediction yet. Does win this one. It's got to be 6 months because, listen, we have the 6 months of champions planned out, and this isn't a knock on Carmelo. He ain't in that picture of Gunther, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, maybe Roman Reigns. He is not in that picture yet.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Drew and Punk thrown in there as well.
Yeah.
If they all get a reign. But
100%.
Listen.
But I think to that point, it either has to be at least 6 months or it's an immediate cash-in and he's left to prove himself for 6 months. Which doesn't make sense for what is going on in the title picture now. But here's my thought on it. If I say take Carmelo, he wins it. Immediately that night, turns around, Bloodline has left Cody off. Let's say he just picks Cody off with the title, steals it. Carmelo then is in high-profile feuds for 6 months, defending against Cody, then defending against whoever the Brandy, Bloodline. Da-da-da-da-da. He's beating these high-caliber guys, and he's showcasing himself again. I think that instantly catapults him to the top. But that is a dangerous game to play with your big title. The title with your company's logo on it is a dangerous game to play unless you are absolutely sure they are the next big thing.
This is your next John Cena.
This is your next John Cena, or this is your next freak athlete like Brock Lesnar, who can turn around in 6 months' time and run with it. That next big thing is on Raw and is not in a title picture. Is in an Intercontinental title picture,
right.
Not the world title picture.
More on that.
Yeah, in a minute.
In a second. Literally, because I'm done.
I got nothing on SmackDown. Nothing else on SmackDown.
So, listen, the meat and potatoes that we want to talk about, we'll save to the end of WWE. Okay? First and foremost, shame on us. Kind of forgot. Thoughts and prayers go out Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
As well.
His father-in-law passed away on Monday during the day, and that's
why Miz had to take over for a couple hours.
Yep.
Brain just shut down. Oh, so we were talking about Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Listen, if you don't think that this is not his, let's see, because everybody loves Braun, but now let's put a title on Braun to see what they really think of Braun.
Mm-hmm.
This is his time to see, by the end of the year, could we get one of the big titles on Braun Breaker and he'll be happy? Not he'll be happy, but the fans will be happy.
I kind of think we would be able to, because I'm going to be honest, this Intercontinental title, when he wins it, because it's not going to, it's not a, it's a win. I know what you were doing.
Listen, we're giving every spoiler away from.
We'll give the spoilers right now. It can be dead wrong in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whenever this is. But what I'm going to say is this. He's going to throw this title away for the opportunity at the world title.
Right.
Whether it's Gunther, whether it's Seth, whether it's Damian, whoever the hell it is, he will throw the Intercontinental title away to get the world title. Now, that could also mean he's going to be, to your point, this is his test run, and he just throws it away after he wins the Rumble and gets the shot at Gunther.
Yep. That's exactly where my head was. He's like, I have what I need. The shot at WrestleMania against Gunther. This, he pulls Shane Douglas and is like, is trash.
Yeah.
Have your tournament for whatever, because I already have what I need to go after Gunther.
Exactly. Maybe it's not Gunther. Maybe it's Cody. Who knows? Imagine that one. That would be the man. To be honest, it would take the next big thing to dethrone the American Nightmare story. The story that had been finished. Excuse me. That it would take a Braun Breaker to end that story convincingly.
Yeah. In the story, listen, the story really, we need to stop making reference to all the story. Like, it does need to end. Like,
right.
He's got it. He's doing this. He's defended it a couple times. He'll defend it a little bit more. There needs to be, we're going to start preparing for book 2.
Yeah.
Because this book is, in my mind, this book is over. Now we're just getting the epitaph. Is that what it is?
Epilogue.
Epilogue.
Epitaph is on, I think that's on your tombstone when you die. Like, here he lies.
That's the same
this.
thing.
Same thing, yeah.
This is what Cody's writing right now of this part of his career. The last part of this book.
Yeah.
Which is all great. The comeuppance and this, that, and the other thing. This can't be Cody the rest of his career. Because it's not, for me, it's not doing anything. The bloodline stuff is still linked together. It is. And they're still meat, but when, say, Survivor Series happens and the War Games, essentially, I don't want Cody part of it. Like, I think if he would be, we speculated about the fourth member, if there is this fourth member, yada, 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 I think you keep him out of it. Because this is family thing.
Yeah.
Punk at least was a Heyman guy that could make the turn. Cody battled him since he's been in the WWE. I'm souring on Cody, if you can tell.
I can tell. I mean, but that's to be expected, not just from you, but it's to be expected, I think, overall, from fans. The story was completed. Now what? It was the same thing with Daniel Bryan. If he didn't get injured, fans would turn on him by June, July, been like, okay, cool, he's still running with it, whatever.
Do something else.
Do something more. But I think with Cody as well, it's, okay, they tried to find new ways to inject life into it. But I'll say this because this made me think of it while we've been talking. Cody is the prime candidate for the Money in the Bank cash-in to lose the title.
Yes.
Because that would be the most devastating way to end this story or facade, is shit, he has it, he's won it, he's been running, he ended the storyline with Roman, da-da-da-da-da, and then all of a sudden it ends on a fluke because he got his ass kicked in Hell in a Cell, but somehow survived and won the match. But here comes XYZ, Braun Breaker, or whoever it is, to take the title away.
Not that it's Braun Breaker. He's not in the Money in the Bank, but...
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. There's one thing we really want to talk about on Raw, and we'll get to it. So, since I took most of them on SmackDown, what do you want on Raw?
Well, man, I was not expecting Awesome Truth to lose the titles right off, like now. I thought it was going to last a little bit longer, to be honest. But, damn, to Judgment Day of all teams, which is interesting.
It is. I'm glad you brought this one up.
Yeah.
Like, the Judgment Day is turning out to be the fallback of, all right, listen, Awesome Truth, kind of, it was getting to the end of the run, right? Again, the money's in the chase. Now that Awesome Truth has had it for a while, cool, everybody's had a title, we love it, da-da-da-da-da, our truth, yada, yada, yada. Let's get some fresh meat in there. Why couldn't it be the Creeds, like we always say? Why couldn't it be, that shock value of not an established team?
Yeah.
I know Finn and JD aren't the team usually, but they're slowly becoming the team. It just seems that, like, the Judgment Day, a la AEW has two of the Bucks or FTR that they always fall back on. Here's the titles, hold it until we really figure out what they're doing. That's what the Judgment Day is right now with the tag titles.
Yeah, I think to that point, though, it's twofold, right? Our Truth had been pissing off the Judgment Day from Kingdom Come for months leading up to his title win. So the fact that he won it from that, he gave it back to them, kind of closes that loop. But I think the second thing of it is this kind of gave JD a feel-good moment in this being his teacher and his mentor and all of that, winning the tag titles with him. So it kind of gave that little scenario. But I think it also, so there's actually three parts to this. I think it takes it one step further as well with the Judgment Day storyline of, oh, you don't need us, Damien, but somehow we have titles and you don't. Because if he loses that title at Money in the Bank, when he loses it, when it happens at Money in the Bank, I think, they're going to be walking around with the tag titles, and maybe they'll have some other title that they're... And now Liv is in the picture with the world title. There's a whole lot going on here. I think it's helping to further separate in a way to say, oh, you don't need us. Well, how come we're draped in gold and you're not doing a damn thing? You've got nothing.
So let me say this. When Rhea returns. By the way, congratulations to Rhea and Buddy, too.
Yeah, congratulations to them. Tied the knot.
When Rhea returns, it's Rhea and Damien as the faces.
Yeah.
And then you have Dirty Dom, Liv, and Finn and JD as the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
100%, yeah.
Listen, because Dom walked away with a new PlayStation, WWE 2K this week. Chicken nuggets. It looked like a new cell phone. Like, Liv is now buying his love. And he really likes that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, she's buying his love. She's being the sugar mama.
Yes.
To your point, she's being the sugar mama, and she's convincing him through material things. This is what you need to do. But he's young and impressionable, and Dom, he thinks, oh, maybe she does really care about me. Maybe she does X, Y, and Z. It's not the case, but she's using him, but he doesn't get that. He's not picking up on that. To that point, let's bring it down even further. Finn, him and Liv have made it. Finn is mature enough to know.
Lot, I think.
He sees through it and he's like, okay, I'm going to help you.
Good,
You help me. I had to work that in.
If you don't know what that is, wrestling fans, just find it on TikTok.
You should know what that is because she even quoted it in one of her things, in one of her promo videos this week. Even though it was on a title instead of other things, same thing. Digress. Finn was mature enough to see the game playing and said, I will help you with your game if you help me get what I want out of this. So they're playing chess right now against everybody else is playing chess or checkers. Dom's playing tiddlywinks somewhere because he doesn't understand.
He's playing 2K. That's all he cares. He's like
he's not even playing 2K. He's just playing tiddlywinks and hoping for the best at this point.
I'm jealous of his life. We're going to get Liv against Zelina. Listen, I say this each and every time that Zelina gets a title shot. I wish we would get more Zelina because she's uber athletic. Mm-hmm. She can do. I think this is going to be a great match. Yeah, like we're going to be like, holy shit! Because the last time we saw Zelina was when she did everything in Puerto Rico. Yep. Yes, she's had some main event matches in it, but showcased. I just wish they used her more like this.
Yeah,
we know she's not winning it at Money in the Bank. We know that.
Yeah. But it's a good showcase for her going forward. That's a perfect example is they know she is a valuable asset in this whole thing. And it's more or less they understand, okay, we need to figure out a way to get her involved more. They understand that women's division kind of strapped right now. There's not much to it. With Becky walking out, you don't have Rhea. You just have basically your tag team champs. Charlotte's not there. They don't have a lot on Raw going right now. It's time to harness Zelina's talents and let her go out there and have pretty damn good matches going forward. She's underrated because she's restricted for no reason. She's limited to her manager role and she can't get out of that. So this is a perfect opportunity to allow her to get out of that.
Lyra moves into Money in the Bank as well. You had some great banter between Seth and Damian, and then Gunther comes out to say, whatever you two do, remember, I'm facing the winner at SummerSlam. Yep. It was like, he said a lot, but he could have said like two things, dropped the mic, flipped them both off, and left. That was perfect.
Oh, 100%. He entered perfectly and walked out and made it seem like I'm the end goal. I'm the actual world champion you have to defeat.
Yeah.
That's literally what he laid out for both of them. Play your pity games over here, but I'm the one you have to beat.
And it was, I completely love everything that, and I agree, is Money in the Bank a couple weeks away, and then we'll go to the meat and potatoes that we really want to talk about. Is Money in the Bank going to be a pay-per-view that we talk about where there's minimum 3 championships change hand?
Potentially. I mean, with what the card is lining up to now, it's definitely looking like it could be.
We get both bigs changing hands, right? We're
well,
no, not Cody's.
No, Cody's isn't on the line. So
no, we're getting Seth. We're getting Braun.
Mm-hmm. Seth, Braun. Yeah, so titles on the line right now. Seth, Braun. They haven't announced the women's yet, but we gotta now assume that'll be the 6th match added to the card. I think we get at least 2 changes.
Oh, so I said 3, but so let's set it at 2.5 because you never go right at 3.
But
would you take the over at 2.5? That's huge for 3 titles on one card across any thing in this day and age.
Well, the last time, I could be wrong on this, but the last time I remember it being a clean sweep where the titles changed hands in every match that they were a part of was, I think, 2002 at Survivor Series.
22 years ago.
22 years ago, rounding. Because you had Cruiserweight title, Tag titles, World title, Brock lost his title that night. It's been 22 years. It's a rare thing to see every title get changed.
It's on the card.
That's on the card. But let's put it this way. Let's say they don't add Zelina and Liv to the card. Okay? Is it really a rare feat if 2 titles change hands in one night?
Not 2, but 3. For me, it is nowadays.
I would agree with that. 3 would be, but if it's only the 2 matches, then it's kind of like, well, they're just setting the stage for SummerSlam or whatever the hell Braun's going to be doing for the next 8 months. Basically, because I truly believe it's Braun and Gunther at WrestleMania, despite people saying it's Brock and Gunther.
Right. That's still not cleared, by the way.
That's still not cleared, but...
The greatest piece of WWE shit this week, segment, whatever. Man, first of all, when it was on the VHS, that was unbelievable. For anybody that didn't know, it was on a VHS. Howdy talking to, I want to say Bo Dallas, but it wasn't even Bo Dallas that he was talking to. He was talking to Rotundo.
They were talking, he was talking to Taylor.
Yeah.
WWE named him Bo Dallas, but he was talking to Taylor in that video. That was 100% raw emotions. I loved that it was so heavy and intense and very tense in its own right. The question to just, are you riding your brother's coattails?
Right.
Type of question. Oh, that was masterfully done.
I will say this. So, again, Raw, I don't watch live much. Tuesday morning, I open up all social media, and they're like, oh my God, they just killed the Wyatt Sick. And I'm like, what the hell happened? I saw it a couple times. I'm like, what the hell happened that they kind of killed the characters or anything like that? So Tuesday I had to come home and watch it. It was like must watch on Tuesday, where sometimes I let Raw sit until the end of the week. But turned it on and I'm like, what were these morons that tweeted that or said that? What are they talking about? They just killed the Wyatt Sick, because I don't know if we've seen something as heavy, but Bray has kind of talked to himself.
Yeah.
It's a reference back to Bray, when Bray kind of did Bray Wyatt to The Fiend and all of that. Uncle Howdy just interviewed Taylor, essentially. If you realize film and movies and everything, that wasn't for us to watch. That's the battle that Taylor has in his head.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people should realize. Like, that's what he's thinking. That question, am I riding my brother's coattails, is stuck in his head.
Yeah.
They just took it and made it, listen, probably one of the best fucking segments of the year.
Yeah. And I did not get confirmation on this, but if you notice, it's very dark in the room they're in, but it looks like the Firefly Funhouse door, and it's just dark and eerie in there, to add another layer on top of this. we're having this conversation between Taylor and his subconscious and his evil alter ego, if you will, inside the mind of what was the Fiend Bray Wyatt. So there's an additional layer to that. Now it's you may think I'm living off his legacy, but I'm living in it for no reason whatsoever. And for lack of better terms, he said it in his interview. He wants to be his brother. He is living in his brother's mind. However, he can't fully live in his brother's mind with his brother being passed away. And it's so dark and, lack of better terms here, but sorrowful.
Yeah.
That he cannot break what has broken in his mind. He can't mend it, if you will.
I agree. If you haven't watched it, we will not do justice to it. We won't. It will be brought back up in December on the Crushies. Just realize that. I didn't delete Raw because of that. Just throwing that. I know it's on YouTube and everything, but I'm like,
right.
This is something that you could watch. I'm having a down day or something. I'm like, yeah. It meant so much that I've been in that mindset. I've been there. So mental health. This. You don't understand it. WWE, wrestling in general, but WWE plays into mental health so much that they say all that. Unbelievable. I loved it all. I'm done with WWE, if you are.
Yeah, I got nothing else on WWE.
All right, let's truck over and do Dynamite. Oh, yeah, I didn't take notes on Dynamite. You know why?
What? Were you there?
I was there. I'm like, where's my notes for Dynamite, you idiot?
You
I
lived
didn't take
it.
notes while I was there.
You lived it.
Yeah.
I want to start.
Good. You run Dynamite.
Okay, I'll run Dynamite.
By the way, I'm not going to give any spoilers on Collision. So
that's fair. Good.
It is good, though. It is fucking good.
Yeah, I believe it. We'll start with the beginning of the night with MJF and Danny Garcia pre-Ospreay. If you were in the audience, I get it. Danny Garcia coming out, he's a hometown boy. Did you get a sense that MJF was kind of not MJF that we think he should be?
Very much so.
Okay.
I hated it up until Ospreay came out. I did. I don't like good boy MJF. No. And even though we're going to get something out of this, shenanigans will be coming in time. I didn't like it. And I was like, man, and I love Danny Garcia. I do. You know, we both do. You fed him too fast to Buffalo.
Yeah. I get that. I could see that.
Keep him for a little bit. MJF starting the show is always great. Don't get me wrong. This could have happened again, maybe in the locker room or something. You know, they gave us Danny too quick.
Yeah.
Because you just gave us MJF, everybody went fucking crazy. Danny got a bigger fucking pop for MJF.
Yeah. The whole offering Danny Garcia match at All In London, it just seemed to me like it was like Roman Reigns offering James Ellsworth, or like I'm trying to think of really Chad Gable, a WrestleMania match 3 months out, right? And I'm talking after Shorty G, pre this run of Gable. Like, it just didn't make any sense. It was kind of like, oh, this is coming out of nowhere. Like, why would they do this? Then when Ospreay came out, it was, oh, and he offered him the title shot next week and all of that. It was, oh, they did this to one-up MJF. That's why so this is a one-upmanship kind of story that they're trying to tell here.
Because off the grid in my head, I'm like, wait, MJF doesn't want any type of title shot?
That's what I was saying.
All in? I'm like, what if he wins something that whatever? He doesn't want a title shot? He can't build his own momentum by then to get a title shot? But then, yes, Will comes out. I believe my thoughts, once Will wins something, I think we're going to go back to NWA rules a little bit, that there's not going to be two belts people in AEW with two notable belts.
No.
So maybe Ospreay has to drop one, and then MJF doesn't get into this little three-way match or something, and this is all made up as I'm talking right now, but Danny's in this three-way match. So Danny and MJF actually go for the International Championship at All In?
Maybe.
Getting his International Championship at some point, right?
Yeah, he's going to be the one to get it. I think he's the one that takes it off of Ospreay at some point. It's a question of not next week, but when. Right? I don't think it's next week on Beach Break. But that is clearly Danny's title, or Danny's sniffing a mid-card title of some form or fashion. Whether it's TNT, it's the Continental, it could be the Continental one at the end of the year. At some point, he is going to taste that singles title. I just think he's being used almost more as the pawn in the middle of jump-starting Ospreay MJF.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a heel. So now MJF is done being happy. At some point, MJF's going to be done being happy-go-lucky and say, fuck y'all. I'm
good.
MJ, fucking F. And I agree, it's good. It needs to happen. He needs to be back to the shitbag that we've known him for
right
5 years.
Too nice MJF is too much.
Agreed.
Okay. It felt a little off. I'm telling you, this first segment felt a little bit off. And just because the fans were just, Danny, Danny, Danny. And listen, the faces of companies, and most of your faces of the company. I'm not disrespecting Danny whatsoever.
But both of them
phase one and phase two of your company of MJF and Will are in the ring, and yay, Danny!
Danny.
Yeah. Too soon.
Too
soon.
All right. We'll do it. We'll go in
jump around.
We'll jump around. I mean, what are we getting with the Bang Bang Gang and the Trios title? Are we getting House of Black when Buddy's back from his honeymoon, or are we getting the Patriarchy? What is happening in terms of the Bang Bang Gang? Besides, go ahead.
Let's fast forward. Jay wins.
And
he's in the Owen. Okay.
Right.
Which he moves on in the Owen, I mean. Essentially. Yeah. Which it's against Phoenix. No disrespect. That was probably one of the best matches of the night. It really was.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But Phoenix is just there. Always. He doesn't get love in tournaments. I don't know if Jay gets love moving forward, but it would make sense if he did. I would be alright with it, but I don't want... He already has 9 fucking titles. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think they've legit strapped themselves with these titles all on one group. I don't know if it is the House of Black. I don't. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a makeshift team somehow that gets the title off of them, because it's going to be Christian, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne to take the titles off of them.
Could be. The Patriarchy.
Aren't they too big for the...
Well, I would argue that maybe that's what the titles need at this point. Because Jay White is in the predicament of being too big for this group.
Yeah.
And being held back from this group in what they've been giving him, right? So if you look at it from that perspective, maybe they need to take it off to get rid of the scissor belts, the ROH belts, whatever it is. Give it to Christian in that to build that back up, build some sort of prestige around them, because they haven't had them since they were introduced, and that's because of the brawl for all that happened backstage.
Right.
That negated what they were going to do with them.
That hammered those titles from day one.
It cursed them. Legitimately cursed them. So now you're scrambling, trying to make them something relevant, and they just haven't been in the past year. I think since even towards the end of the House of Black having them, they haven't been relevant.
I agree. With the House of Black, like, I thought maybe if they would have showed up as well with the Patriarch, you get a triple threat 3-man match, or, the Patriarch and the Bang Bang Gang don't excite me.
No, it's like a 0-hour match could be good. And it's not going to be Jay White. It'll probably be Juice and the Guns.
They're going to use the Freebird New Day rule.
Exactly. That's who's getting it. And Jay White's going to be doing his own shtick and whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't...
Is it time for Nick Wayne to have a title?
I think if it's if it's this tag title, doesn't really matter, so be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're going to push for him to get
something by
major title. To get him something by now, but he's going to get a major title here in the next 4 or 5 years, for sure.
Yeah. I believe so.
Because you got to live up to the Prodigy name. So if you're Prodigy, you got to be...
I believe they're building him. And I'm not saying, character-wise, but who was supposed to be doing this. They're building Nick Wayne to be the new Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
What Sammy was possibly going to do, and then he got thrown into his own messes with podcasts with Sasha.
Yeah.
Shit now, yada, yada, yada. I could see Nick Wayne being the pseudo Sammy Guevara he can do all the crazy shit Sammy can do. So start him off with this and start building his lineage.
Yeah. And give him someone that can kind of mitigate those 20-year-old thoughts, right?
At one point, he's fighting Christian for his mom back.
Yeah.
Let's just call a spade, right?
Right.
I mean, at some point, years down the line.
It could be years down the line. But it also gives him the built-in, okay, you're riding with Christian. Christian's going to set your mind in the right. We're going to do this right by you. That's why he wants him split up for many years, right?
And who's lost in this whole group? The big man.
The big man, and he's always has been in this group. He just stands out like a sore thumb. He doesn't wrestle.
No. They should cut his ties. Let him go do big man stuff against Hobbs and Wardlow. Oh yeah, wait, they're not on the roster right now either.
Yeah.
Or Archer. Oh wait, we laugh about him. But it could be a 3-person group of Nick Wayne, Christian, and Mom. You want to bring a 4th in, there's enough mids floating around there to
make it work.
Do something with. Luchasaurus just is, at this point, a waste in this group.
I don't even know if outside this group he's going to do anything exciting.
I'm not.
I get what you're saying.
Talent or their stuff.
I'm not saying that either, but the way they book Biggs, they're not. It's not looking good.
Yeah, but smaller package, essentially, he's got nothing going in this group.
No.
He's interchangeable with any other brute. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And he had something going when they were doing the him-hawing about the TNT title, and then he just gave it away, and that killed it.
That's where...
It killed it.
See you, goodbye. Yeah.
All right. Moving on. I don't know if it was as good as I enjoyed it on TV. We'll do the two-part Sabre and O'Reilly. Good God Almighty.
It was great. It was a great technical wrestling match.
Yeah.
It was late in the night.
Right. You've sat through a lot. You're just kind of, yeah.
There was surprises.
Yeah.
That should have started the show.
Mm-hmm.
They would have got, this is wrestling, this is amazing, this is holy shit, this and that. Other things went on. There's a portion of Collision recorded prior to Dynamite, in fact.
Okay.
So that adds to something. I mean, not a major surprise, but weren't expecting to see somebody. There was a lot built up. Like this, everybody was excited to see Sabre. They were. Everybody knows Kyle can go. This should have been right after Collision. Oh my God, we have another big surprise coming right now. Boom, Sabre Jr.'s here, and Kyle.
Yeah.
It was late in the night. People were like, "Oh man, this is a long match." It wasn't uber long.
No.
It was just good technical wrestling.
Which will fail to excite people.
Right.
If it's too long. It'll fail to excite people depending on where it's at in the night. To your point. Technical submission style matches need to be early in the night so people can stay with it, go with it, and love and embrace it. If you get them later in the night, people are tired, they've been chanting, they've seen shit. And, you know, even tying back to Jericho stuff before that, Suzuki rejecting that whole thing, that's just one example of, even though he wasn't there, I don't know if he showed up on Collision, but even though he wasn't there during that match, then it was, okay, well, fuck, Suzuki's here and just fucking shit all over the learning tree. So that takes it, that's another element of it that takes it out of the crowd, too.
Yeah. A lot, like, it took me probably the first 30 minutes, and I looked to my buddy, I'm like, that's right, Forbidden, I knew Forbidden Door was, but I'm like, it might be New Japan / surprise heavy tonight.
Yeah.
He's like, do you think? I'm like, they have to build up probably 8 more matches.
They can't fill out this card.
Yeah. And they did. They did.
All right. What else from Dynamite before we get to the main event? Because I'm sure we'll want to talk about a little bit about that, Ospreay and Swerve there. What else from Dynamite from your perspective do you want to bring up?
Well, I enjoyed perfectly. I think it was to a T, the women's tag match. I really did. I think that was actually one because, and I'm going to say this mean because this was just the way there was perverts out there. They were just they were super excited to see 6 amazingly beautiful women, but I love the ending, and I know I said it 2 weeks ago and then last week as well, that the title doesn't mean anything in this Tony Mina match. It really is all about Mariah.
Yeah.
And I thought they really were putting it to bed. I thought, oh shit, I have to eat crow on the podcast. You saw Tony go for the clink, and I thought, oh, alright, Mina's going to be the bigger person.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing's going to happen. And then she just ate the bottle.
Yeah.
Essentially, Mariah did. And I'm like, oh man, my thoughts now are like, oh yeah, this is still going to happen. And I think don't be surprised if Mariah has an amnesia type of something come Sunday that she forgot. And this is only me. This is only me. It's not out there or anything. That she completely forgets about Tony. Like, she forgets that she was with Tony forever. And this is really the catalyst for when Mariah wins her championship at the next pay-per-view. There's my spoiler for one pick on this. Because I don't think Mina's winning it.
No.
I think Mariah is your next champion really fucking soon.
Yeah. I could... The amnesia thing's an interesting angle on it.
She just got crushed with a bottle.
I get it. I just don't disagree. It'll be an interesting turn instead of just, Mina hit me with the bottle. I don't like Mina anymore. Yeah. Or like she screws Mina because she hit her with the bottle. I think that's more likely to happen, but I like that amnesia twist of, I don't fucking know you. I did nothing for you.
This has been my partner
forever. Yeah. Just forget. That's a nice little twist on it.
That actually, again, perverts and everything, whatever. Because they were also, I have to say it now because it's stuck in my head, they were also chanting names from Paige's, Soraya's past, and I'm like, you guys are fucking dicks.
They're everywhere. They're just ass.
But they were right next to me.
Yeah. And you just wanted to.
I'm like, I just wanted to be like, really? What's in your closet, you bastard?
Yeah. It's the immaturity of the fucking thing. They just want to be dicks and assholes about it.
But I liked the match. I liked that it wasn't really, I mean, it was a match, but it was craziness and chaos. And I think for this feud, it needed craziness and chaos until the last couple minutes where the win happened. I think it made a lot of sense.
Fair enough. That's fair.
One thing before we get to the main event.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I will give you this spoiler. I didn't think we were getting Mercedes in Buffalo because she's like, hey, I'll see you at Collision. She didn't say I'll see you at Collision until she was like 45 seconds into the promo that she, roundabout.
Yeah.
She was saying, like, they fucking pre-recorded this last week, and Mercedes is not going to be here. And I'm like, I am pissed off. And it was just me and Nick essentially saying, that bitch isn't coming to Buffalo. Spoiler, she's on Collision. So that's what I'll give you. That's probably out there. Everything's out there probably from some idiot that released the whole card. But, yeah. Mercedes does show up at Collision, so she really was in Buffalo. So I was. Well, you saw my pictures on Facebook.
Yeah, I did see it. Yeah.
Anybody else didn't, but yeah, she showed up at Collision. It was really cool.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Main event, though. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm going to say this: the main event, the match itself, take or leave, whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's the aftermath of that.
Exactly.
Ospreay gets fucking rocked.
Dude, I don't know. I did see it, but I can't remember it. In person, that looked like Ospreay's head spun around like an owl.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looked like it legit connected in person.
Yeah. Well, on TV, he looked like he stiffened up. Like he had just, like, you've seen any NFL player, any player get hit, and they get knocked so badly that everything just seizes up and they tighten. It looked like that happened for a split second. I don't know if that was just him amazingly selling that or what, but it looked legit. Like it knocked him straight out. But it ties back to Swerve saying, don't touch my title again. And then it was, we go to the end of the match. He didn't want to hit the Tiger Driver. He didn't take the kill shot. Again, he's hesitating on Tiger Driver, which is what happened with Danielson. But Swerve is proving he will take the kill shot, and Ospreay hasn't proved that yet.
I don't think it happens in this match yet, though, either.
Tomorrow. I don't think
Tonight,
he takes it.
Sunday.
I don't think he pulls out the move. I don't think he goes for a kill shot, essentially.
Right.
No spoilers with that, but it's just that's not the time for it.
Right.
The time is something else down the line.
Yeah. We already predicted that months ago.
Yeah. But the timing of it is when it happens.
Right. It has to.
Oh, 100% has to.
But how? I guess. Are we ready for predictions? So that
I think we have to be ready.
We're really
ready.
needing to get to it, aren't we?
We want to.
We do want to. So, all right, quick break. Listen to whoever wants to say that they love Can Crushers or hate Can Crushers in 30 seconds. We'll come back with Forbidden Door predictions, and I think there's going to be craziness. I'm going to be crazy. You lost last month, or a couple of weeks ago. I'll still put the title on the line, because I feel that we may disagree on this one, honestly, across some. I
would agree, and it might not be the ones you think.
Okay, well, you have to find out. Stick and stay, folks. Stick and stay.
Hey, this is Bass Jesus Billy Starks, and you're listening to the Out of the World podcast of Can Crushers.
Hi, guys. We're back.
We really are doing this whole show.
We're doing it the whole show.
You're in now then, too.
It's the learning Can Crushers. That's what it is right now. So, welcome back, everybody, to the final segment of Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. It's time for predictions. Are we going to go off the deep end? Are we going to combat? Am I going to take this title from your hands? I don't know. We're going to see what's going to happen here. But the time is on. And Mark, I will fully admit, I kind of spoiled some things for myself, but I'm not going to announce them on the show because I know they're on Collision. People may not have maybe listening to us before Collision tomorrow night. I accidentally spoiled a couple things for me, so I'm going to leave that alone in its own right. Okay? So,
before we get into predictions, let's do an overall prediction. Well, we usually don't do this. Do you expect this to be good, meh, or, I hate to say it this way, serviceable? I will go first real quick. I think there's going to be some really cool things, but I don't think this is going to be one of the best that we talk about at the end of the year, meat and potatoes wise.
Agreed. I think it's going to be serviceable, to your point, with some really great pieces to it. I think this is going to be used to set up either matches down the line and feuds that are happening, or just try to get us to tie things off for the time being. Because at the end of the day, with Forbidden Door, whether it be New Japan and CMLL, there's only so much you can do with these people. It's fantasy booking matches, basically.
Exactly.
Not a lot's going to happen. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago where we think there needs to be a significant tit for tat here with AEW, where they've been taking a lot of world titles from New Japan, etc. They need to give it back as well. I don't know if that's going to happen yet. Yeah, exactly. So, with that being said, I think I've seen it trickle in online. There is supposedly going to be 3 0-hour matches. We can jump into those. We'll go through those. We'll go through the matches that I have right now. I have Wikipedia, which is what spoiled some things for me. But we're going to go through because I needed to see the 0-hour matches. So, we'll start there.
Deal.
Okay.
And they count, by the way, folks.
Yep.
Since they're announced, we are counting them this time.
We're going to count them this time. So, first match at the top of the list. God, be with me. Make sure I'm pronouncing these right. Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe versus Willow Nightingale and Tom Nakano. I think Tam Nakano probably is a way better thing to pronounce that. You want to go first or do you want me to? I'm good either way.
You go first this time.
Okay.
You are the challenger, so.
I'm gonna go with Chris Statlander and Momo on this one. She's got to get a heel win over Willow. I don't think Willow gets a win here against Chris yet. It probably won't be till their big blow-off match later in the year.
I don't think, first and foremost, I don't think either AEW star is taking the pin.
Right.
Have it be Willow that wins or Stat that wins, meaning teams, they will not lose.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think Stat gets the win. Team Stat gets the win on this one.
I like where you go with that. I could even see them. No, Stat's going to hit her finisher. That's going to be the way that ends, yeah.
The way that we have it booked in our heads real quickly, Stat's got to look strong to take on Willow.
Yeah. Which is an interesting play now because Stat was a well-established star and Willow was the up-and-comer. That's the flip side. Stat needs to look more stronger now that she's broken away from Willow. So, all right. Women's Owen Hart Cup first round tournament match. Mariah May, Saraya. We could probably say that
I've leaked this already.
Yeah, you have.
I've kind of leaked this already. And and I know there's another one down the line of the Owens that I'm shocked that they're putting the Owens on a pay-per-view, like first round, second round matches or anything like that.
They did that last year.
Oh, did they? All right, see.
I think, wasn't Punk's match in Owen Hart Cup?
Sure.
Qualifier? I can't remember. But I think it was. I think it was a first round match. I could be wrong, though. Honestly, I probably am wrong. But I digress.
I have Mariah winning this.
I have
leading
Mariah
to everything
too.
that I said 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, Mariah definitely. Okay, trios match to round out the night.
Good luck with these.
Los Ingobernables de Japón.
Team CMLL.
Team CMLL. Yota Tsuji, Titan, and Hiromi Takahashi. Close enough. We'll take it. Versus the Lucha Brothers, Penta and Rey. I know how to say those. And Mystico, a.k.a. Sin Cara, a.k.a. Never Say That Again. I think it's good. I want to give it to LIJ. I think it's going to be Ingobernables de Japón on this one, Team CMLL.
I do too, because listen, Team CMLL across the board is taking losses.
Yeah.
The Blackpool, like anybody, they're just taking losses. And I think there's another big loss later on in the night. I'll spoil that. But it's not as big as a partnership as New Japan, but they need to give them something.
Yeah.
And it's not Pac in this. If it was the true Death Triangle, I don't see them losing.
Right.
But you have Sin Cara in it.
Yeah.
There's your loss to me.
I would agree.
Jeez.
Well, it's either him or Ray.
Yeah. By the way, Penta in the news this week. Probably could have talked about this on Hot Topics or whatever, but
whatever.
WWE wants him, essentially. Just there's noteworthy that they want him, and I don't know if he wants to go.
I don't know either, but I saw one interesting take on it where they should introduce him as Dom's prison mate, and I thought that was the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. They need to do it. They need to do it now. So, okay. Penta, go WWE.
Sure. Just do a handshake deal for a little bit.
Just to have him be his prison buddy.
Prison guard. Nice.
All right.
I don't see. I wouldn't see Penta working out in WWE. I really don't. I just doesn't. He does too much internationally
to make that happen.
Yeah.
All right. Main card now. We're going to kick it off with the ladder match. Takeshita, Briscoe, Jack Perry, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, and player to be named later. If you're listening to this, you'll know after Collision, I believe, who it is. I think the winner is in those 5, but Mark, it's your turn. Who do you got?
Leo Rush, for sure.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. No.
100%.
There's 2 that are possible.
Yeah.
One is a callus, one's a goat. And if you heard the Bucks, they're doing some stuff with the titles.
Mm-hmm.
Have Jack with the title clearly makes sense. They will look like the golden children then, because all of the elite do have a title.
Yeah.
It's Jack.
I would agree. It's Jack. It's always been Jack.
Yeah.
They just needed Takeshita in here to give a formidable counter to that could possibly win it, and B, get Takeshita on the card somehow, some way, somehow.
Right.
So,
there's going to be stupid, crazy spots with Leo
yeah.
and Dante in this. I'm not being a dick, and I do not wish this. But if there's not an injury in this match, I will be blown away. And I'm not wishing it upon anybody. But there's going to be an injury in this match. I'm not saying like a twisted ankle, a bum ribber. Like, something is coming out of this match.
Well, it goes back to when Dante broke his leg last year in that crazy-ass match. Yeah. We knew going in some shit was going awry at ROH. And unfortunately, he did more than twist his ankle last year.
Oh, my God. Jason Kendall.
Yeah. So it was nasty, it was disgusting, and all of that stuff. This is going to be something crazy. And Briscoe is not one to stop. He's going to do something
those
idiotic. Those
Leo,
3,
Dante, and Briscoe, watch out for a highlight.
Well, Jesus Christ, Jack Perry might do something. He set himself on fire already. So he obviously doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't come out at all until the end.
And just grabs it and leaves.
Yeah, because that's the elite.
I would love that.
I would too. I think that would be perfect. All right. Next up. I'm just going on the list that they're listed. So
that's perfect.
It's the Women's Championship match. Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. We've both said this already. Tony's winning this. It's setting up. I think we've already predicted the Owen tournament winner.
We did.
So we're kind of, where that's going. Yeah. I will say this. I think I like your Amnesia spot. I think it's more. I think they go down the traditional path of Mariah knows it was Mina that hit her with the bottle, so she's going to cost her the championship, and then they're going to be buddy-buddy.
Well, I didn't know, and this is shame on me, I didn't know Mariah's match was on 0 Hour, or I would have never said the Amnesia, because Mariah's going to win a match on 0 Hour. She's not going to have Amnesia on 0 Hour.
2 Hour, right. Well, she can still know how to wrestle, but she may not know how to people, right?
I don't know how to
people in their life. Yeah. I never know how to people. It's a miracle I make it through this podcast coherently.
No, you people with me. I meant like people public.
Well, people public. I struggle with people in general. So, anyways, all right.
Touché.
The trios match, the Learning Tree, Jericho and Big Bill, and whatever branch they dig out of the ground, versus.
Oh, it's not on Wikipedia yet?
Oh, it is on Wikipedia. I see it. I'm just not naming who these people are that apparently come out there in Collision. Versus Joe Hook and Shibata. I think it's your turn.
Sure. I don't care. This is actually an intriguing match.
Yeah.
It really is, because Joe Hook and Shibata, for what we're doing here, needs the win. knowing what we know about Collision, not to spoil it, you're going to give that person a loss? I know it's a 6-man loss. You're going to give that person a loss on a pay-per-view? This is why Forbidden Doors are hard. Like, you have to make sure you cover. You can't bury All New Japan. They're like, we don't fucking get a win on your pay-per-view. Not even in a 6-man match, we don't get a win. But I think that person's taken out. Like, not by, like, he's just not around. Him and Jericho meander away. And the real match is between, the rest of them, and Big Bill takes the loss.
I could see that. I'm going to go Joe, Hook, and Shibata.
So where I was, yeah.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you.
We both have Team Joe.
Team Joe, yeah. Hook, Joe, Bata, whatever the hell they call themselves. I'm
not writing that. I'm writing Team Joe.
I know what you're writing. But to your point, that individual, he hasn't been given a great track record on AEW, though.
I know.
So it wouldn't surprise me they pin him.
Yeah, I know. But I was just saying, like, so that person takes the loss, which is a pretty big person in New Japan.
Yeah, right.
It needs made up down the line, right?
Yeah, I would think.
Okay.
I would think. But to your point, I fully could see Big Bill taking the loss, because, yeah, they have to start winning at some point. Joe Hook and Shibata have to beat the Learning Tree at some point.
Right.
If it's not now, there's a problem.
Right. Agreed.
So, because I think they're going to get back to Hook and Jericho at All In. I think that's
the title.
Yeah, that's the trajectory here. So it has to push to that point. So they have to make it happen.
That'll be Hook's biggest. I know he's fought for the title.
Yeah.
But that will be Hook's biggest match. Because of not really the stakes. It's his own title, essentially. His dad's title. It's where it's at.
It's the stage and who it's against. Yeah, he's faced Jericho before, but now there's a whole storyline behind it.
Yeah. I'm getting sick of Shibata a little bit. Like, we know, like, he can pseudo-speak English, right?
Yeah.
He has, prior to this phone thing. The phone thing isn't doing it for me.
I think they're just pushing the comedy gimmick, which, again, I'm going to go back.
He's so goddamn good in the ring, though. He shouldn't be comedy.
He shouldn't be. He should be just let him walk out, do his thing, and walk back.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to give the plug. Danhausen is doing nothing. Give Danhausen something to do.
Right.
They're hooking Danhausen.
Every week. Every week. Hey, Tony, what are you doing?
Yeah, Hookhausen was a thing. Make it happen. All right. Off her high horse.
Right.
This next match, I think, is happening earlier in the night because I have a prediction for later in the night. But MJF versus Hechicero, however you say his name. He's been on TV for the past 6 months. You should learn it by now. But anyways,
they're rough names.
They are rough names. I'm not claiming I know my pronunciations, but this is MJF getting a win just to kind of get MJF put over a little bit more. It's going to be a good match, but this is just for MJF to kind of get another win under his belt.
I would imagine Hechicero picks up a win earlier this weekend.
Yeah, possibly.
So we'll leave it at that.
I think he has to.
Oh, he did. I mean, he might.
What? Spoilers.
He might. So, it's a win for win. He's here, he beats the shit out of somebody, and then he takes the loss. Like, nothing against him. I love him. I do. But this is MJF.
Yeah. The Alchemist can only do so much.
Right.
All right. Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy.
This is going to be fucking good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this.
I am too.
and I don't know where I'm going because it is what it is. It legit is a match.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much build around it for me. I mean, they've teased some stuff, but it's not any. It's just, here's the fantasy match that we do on Forbidden Door. You go either way, but I think it goes orange. I really do. I think because it's pushing orange towards something else down the line. Because you've seen he's broken away the last couple weeks. I know there's Hype Man and Briscoe doing things for him, but they're just together. They're not a group. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
I think we're getting a title shot of some sort for Orange down the line, and I think this helps build it up.
That's fair.
You're going the other way.
I am going the other way. I'm going Sabre Jr. because I think this is a similar situation without the title involved. There's a similar situation to Ospreay and Orange 2 years ago. They both were, put together in a match. We thought, how the hell is this going to go? And I think it was one of the true shinings of Orange Cassidy to kind of establish himself as a very good wrestler and can hold himself up to some of the best. Right? I think this is a similar situation. Ospreay won that one because his title was on the line, but I think Sabre Jr. wins this one because he is a big deal, and this goes back to some of these guys need to start winning some of these matches to make it believable, and I think this is one of them. I think Sabre Jr. gets the win here on OC. Doesn't hurt OC, it just
not at all.
Perpetuates that Sabre Jr. is one of the premier wrestlers in the world.
This is one of those tit-for-tat matches.
Yeah, agreed. Yep. All right. I'm gonna go to the next one. It is the winner-take-all match, the TBS title, and the New Japan Strong Women's Championship match. Mercedes Moné and Stephanie Vaquer. It's probably gonna be Moné to get her run with the Strong title.
Yeah. Listen, a woman from the CMLL has the New Japan title. This was written. I think we're going to get a recall on Mercedes and Willow again.
Yeah.
I know she's in with Stat, but this Mercedes needs to beat her with the title, I think, at one point. So we need to get the title on her.
Yeah.
Ebony's really good. Just to let you know that as well.
Figured.
I've seen her wrestle. I'll leave it that way. But this is just, it's an easy call, right?
Yeah.
Like, you give somebody 2 belts and...
Yeah.
New Japan loves Mercedes. She can go right back over there tomorrow and defend it again, and we have banger after banger.
She'll hold it until probably Wrestle Kingdom or something like that, and then drop it to one of their premier athletes or something like that. I do wonder, and this, when we started talking about this, when you brought up the CMLL woman holding the New Japan title, do you think that necessitated and forced the relationship with CMLL to have that happen? Because listen, if they were like, we want to put the title, New Japan was like, we want to put the title back on Mercedes. We want it to happen on AEW television. AEW's like, let's have it on our TV. If Stephanie's in CMLL and they don't have a working relationship, that doesn't happen.
No, you're right.
So they must have literally been like, okay, this is how we get the title back to Mercedes. We have to force the relationship to happen. And that was the trickle effect where you're seeing now the Lucha Brothers can be on the same show as the CMLL stars and all of that stuff because they recognized that it was just not going to work out. They had to make the deal happen.
Yeah, they had to. They had to where Monet wasn't getting this. There might have been a little bit of, I'm not sure because we're not behind the Forbidden Door or anything, but maybe it would have cracked a little bit. But really, I think on this match of the night, I really think New Japan's pulling, saying, get it back on Mercedes because she makes us $1 trillion when she's over here.
She's the moneymaker.
That pun included, but
Pun included,
real.
but yeah, for real. She's one of their moneymakers. She's marketable. She can get butts and seats. And it strengthens their women's division. All right. Yeah, I'm going to jump to this one, too. The Elite, so Matt and Nick and Kazuchika Okada, to prove that I can say somebody's name, versus Scissor Ace, Bowens Caster, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Who we got?
I have to take the Elite in this. Because True Talk, I think, in a month or whatever, when they decide to put the titles up to Acclaim, that's when they take their loss for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that match happens until Wembley or wherever. It's teased or it's this or that. But this is their... And I hate it because AEW is doing a lot of one-for-ones. They really are. It's the Elite. It really is the Elite.
I think it's the Elite, too. I think that you're right. It's a lot of one-for-ones, but I think in this case, they're not going to lose on their own show. Their goal is to walk out of here with any gold that they have, and there's no titles on the line, but they need to have wins to walk out of here with. So that's their goal in this night, is winning this match, again, especially against the Ace.
In at least for a month, they all hold the titles going into All In. They make them look like the most powerful group in AEW, plus their EVPs, plus Okada's learning how to edit and do stuff backstage, which is great. He's broadening his horizons.
Yes. And he's learning how to call people bitch at the same time.
He is.
All right. Let's do Bryan Danielson, Shingo Takagi, men's Owen Hart Cup first round match. Danielson
all the way
winning this.
We've already booked.
We've already booked them to All In. Yeah. The question is who he's facing at All In. But we're gonna get there.
Listen, we're only different on one so far. We were gonna be fucking crazy.
I think we might get different on a couple here. We'll get down to the nitty gritty. Let's get down to the big titles.
By the way, we're 3 hours into this pay-per-view. Hey, how many matches do we have left?
We have two left. So 3 hours minus 0 hours. Like 0 hours not included.
Oh yeah,
3
0
hours.
hours definitely not included. It starts at noon.
Yeah, this is 11 o'clock right now. All right. Jon Moxley, Tetsuya Naito, New Japan World Heavyweight Champion, IWG World Heavyweight Championship. The floor is yours.
I think it's Naito. I think this is the big one that is a major tit for tat because of that. They've talked about it for so long, and we've talked about it for so long. I know Mox is the man, and it's going to probably be ugly. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be all of this. Why would New Japan keep allowing AEW to just pummel their stars?
Yeah. If I'm correct, Naito is the one Mox beat for the title way back when. I was laughing over here because I thought this would separate us. And it won't, because I picked Naito too.
Yeah.
This is
the one I've been waiting for.
Yeah, he's going to win the title back to take it back to Japan because it is the Japan belt.
Right.
It only makes sense that he would be the one to dethrone.
With that. Mox isn't going over anytime soon again.
No. That's exactly it. Mox isn't going to be over there defending the title. G1 is coming up soon. They need the title back in Japan. So this is the opportunity to take it back over. I'm just excited we're going to see Naito actually care about a match. Naito care about a match. Because last year when he was in that, the 8-man tag, he was cared less.
He was excited to see the crowd.
He was excited to see the crowd, high-five the crowd. He stood there on the apron with his shirt on. Didn't care. Could give two shits. Naito is going to be in this match, and it's going to be ugly and brutal, like you said.
And I wouldn't be surprised if, and I don't know who, but we need something for Mox to do after this. There might be a feud out of this. And this is just rolling through my head. I can't tell you who, I can't do you something, but it would be okay if Mox loses clean, but it's always because it's protecting Mox, which AEW likes to do. Nothing against that. He is one of your forefathers. He fucking came to bat when he was supposed to be on vacation for a year.
Yep.
So there's always, to me, a little protection with Mox because if something like that happens again, you know you can be like, here, you got to run with this. Sorry, you're not allowed to have a vacation or whatever. So you protect them in a big match like this.
Yeah.
You can have somebody else come over and Mox and fight somebody else from New Japan at All In.
Yeah.
To maybe be a air quotes #1 contenders match that Mox wins and then in 6 months he goes back over and fights for it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be shocked if it's clean. I would be shocked if it's clean. I'll leave it that way.
That's fair. That's 100% fair. All right. Main event time.
Did I just write down the names now? Go ahead.
Okay.
You can ask me.
Okay. Main event time. Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay for the AEW World Championship. I think, you go first. I'm going to let you go first on this one.
We have Danielson and Ospreay headlining All In.
We do. So you going Ospreay?
Does he win it there? Are we going to have a way, I'm just being a dick, are we going to have another way? And are you going to give Ospreay Swerve away again at Beach Break? Or in 2 weeks prior to All In,
Yeah.
We have Ospreay. We've unless you've just changed on me in the last 6 minutes, that's his go home match, right? We think. And this is built about Danielson. This isn't really built about Ospreay. But then we have Danny Garcia kind of getting the title off of Ospreay. But we do have, because you hinted at it, and I completely agree, somebody that's going to be lingering around because he's been done wrestling for about 2.5 hours now.
Yeah.
To cause a little bit of disruption. I have Ospreay winning this. It's going down in Penn. It's just, I think there is a lot of fucking controversy around this match.
Oh, there's a ton. And that's why Swerve's walking out with the title.
Motherfucker.
So, here's where my head's been at. And this happened, I would say yesterday. Think about it this way. There's no way Ospreay and MJF are having this interaction without there being repercussions on Sunday. MJF's costing Will Ospreay this match on Sunday. That then sets up Swerve and probably Danielson at All In. Another dream matchup that would be great to see. Ospreay beats MJF at All In. Danielson beats Swerve at All In for the title.
2 weeks later.
No, Wrestle Dream, his final match is Ospreay Danielson one last time. Ospreay does it again and sends him off to the sunset. this is all trickling down. I think it just makes sense. MJF has to inject himself so that there's an MJF Ospreay match. And we're getting back to really shitbag MJF in the next week. 3 days. I
will keep my Ospreay. I will.
Keep your Ospreay.
I love yours a lot better.
Again, usually when I have these great ideas, it's not the case and it's very far off. But this just seems like the best way to get us to Ospreay Danielson 2.
Yeah, because there's 2 other pay-per-views then, right? In between them. You have All In and All Out.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So we do one match at All In, MJF.
Ospreay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then vice versa at all, whatever, yeah.
Well, think about it this way. Maybe at All In, it's Ospreay, MJF, whatever, Ospreay wins. Ospreay's going to get another shot at it at some point, but maybe it doesn't happen there. Maybe they have to have a number 1 contenders match again, or a blood feud or something like that. Or the winner of Ospreay MJF has to face Swerve to get to fucking Danielson at Wrestle Dream for the title again.
We have Danielson winning the Owen, right?
Yeah.
When does he get that title shot?
It's All In. It's in London.
But it's Danielson Swerve then, is what we're saying.
Is what I'm saying, yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Swerve, yeah. There's going to be, let's say Swerve, obviously, Danielson wins. Swerve's just waiting in the wings. Whoever wins out of Ospreay MJF is going to be the other counterpart to Swerve in a number 1 contenders match for Danielson at Wrestle Dream. Because you remember last year at All In, or All Out, the main event was Orange and Mox in that bloody beatdown match for the international title. So they need a main event that's not the World Championship. And I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be, all right, we need a number 1 contender, so it's Swerve who lost the title versus Danielson, and then versus the MJF or Ospreay, whoever won that. So we'll probably get Swerve Ospreay again, so Ospreay gets a win over Swerve and gets to Danielson at Wrestle Dream.
And he takes it from
a Wrestle Dream.
And then Danielson goes back to Seattle.
Yep.
Okay. So we have 2 different ones.
So it's
could bite us in the ass.
It's the AEW World Title match.
Right.
And what was the other one?
Orange and Sabre Jr.
Sabre Jr.
Which, all these matches on paper look great, but those 2 matches are the ones that, Ospreay Swerve is going to be a great wrestling match, but I think there's this controversy. The Orange Sabre match could possibly be the best wrestling match of the night.
Yeah. Although Mercedes and Stephanie could tear down the house.
They could.
So,
I'm excited.
I am too.
You watching live?
That is the plan. You watching live?
Unfortunately, on a Sunday, it is the plan.
I was looking at the next day, work-wise, and I literally have meetings from 8 a.m. till noon, 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock. I'm in a murderer's row.
Asleep at a meeting.
I'm in a murderer's row the next day, so there's going to be a hefty coffee getting picked up on the way in, but...
Big gulp of coffee.
Big gulp. Big gulps, huh?
What do you got going on the rest of the week, then?
Rest of the week, it's the 4th of July coming up next week, so
celebrating that. Off.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. I'm trying to keep all 10 digits.
I meant everybody,
functional.
Not just you.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying I'm trying to keep that too. But yeah, everybody keep your hands safe. Birthday party today as you're listening on my end. Obviously, doing up Forbidden Door. Only have Thursday off for the 4th, so then we'll wrap around to the, well, you know, it's the little things that we take it. So, but that's basically my week coming up. How about yours?
As you're listening, graduation party, legit heading out right now. If you've listened at 6 o'clock in the morning when this gets posted, getting ready to head out because things have happened during the podcast that I have to transition earlier than I thought, but that's okay. It's okay. I don't know. Sunday, I probably will have to catch up on sleep prior to Forbidden Door. I don't have Thursday off because that's just the way we like to rock and roll around our parts of the wood. And I thought next Saturday was something. No. Know what I am going to do Thursday?
What's that?
See the new hot dog eating champion.
Well, you know what? Are you watching the Netflix special or no? That's later in the summer. That's later in the summer. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm watching the real hot dog eating contest because I don't know. No Joey Chestnut this year. I know it's been a while, and of course I saved it until then. I'm really bummed that he's not going to be in it this year.
Yeah, I don't like that.
He's signed with a different hot dog brand.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
I really don't. Listen, whatever. But he's not going to get Flair's record now.
Yeah, he's not. He got screwed.
He did get screwed. But I want to see the comparative now to, 73 or 1/4 hot dogs to see what we do. There's not been anybody close to him in years.
It's going to be lackluster. It's going to be like 55 1/3.
Right. It's like something I can do now.
Yeah, right.
No. Will you have a hot dog on the 4th of July?
That is the plan. How about you?
1? How many do you do?
I usually do 3. But there's going to be hamburgers involved, so it's probably going to be like 1 to 2 and a hamburger. So.
And are they Smith's? Which is the hot dog of Erie, Pennsylvania, by the way. Folks.
Listen, of course it is Smith's. But this... Kimberly does not eat Smith's hot dogs.
She's a fucking smart person because they're not bad.
First of all, you just have bad memories. Your thought does not count on this subject.
10,000 hot dogs a day.
10,000 hot dogs a day is going to skew your mind. She is a Ballpark or Nathan's person.
Nathan's all the way.
So we've bought only Ballpark and Nathan's. I did say she has to try Smith's once, and she's agreed. When that time comes, we'll figure it out. We have Nathan's in the fridge right now, so.
So you won't have a Smith's then on...
We will. We're doing something with the family, so.
Oh. And the family only buys Smith's.
Of course.
Forbid me from learning Can Crushers. Well, I want you to have a great week. I want all Can Crushers Nation to have a lovely 4th of July. Again, be safe out there. Enjoy yourself. 1, don't drink and drive. Listen, it's a Thursday. I don't know a lot of people that have Friday off, by the way.
I don't.
I don't mean stupid holidays, but holidays bounce in the middle of the week, really, we can't push them.
Yeah.
Celebrate them on Friday, celebrate them on Monday, so you get, a long weekend. I'm sure people are taking Friday as vacation day. Hey, I have Thursday off, give me Friday too. Yeah. Probably not going to be a busy week for people, so I would imagine 3-day week for a lot of people. Be safe, be happy, celebrate the 4th how you do, and, yeah.
We'll see you guys. Enjoy it. Don't keep all your fingers. Do not lose the digits.
Yeah, keep your digits. Use our digits. Call us. Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
You're a garbage can, not a garbage can not. Make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them.
Because you never know.
Whoop whoop.